Hello everyone, hope you're doing good and are in great spirits and in learning mode. Welcome to DC TechNet, and as you know that we experiment a lot, we experience, we have good experiences, we have bad experiences, we do a lot of mistakes, and we are very passionate to share our experience, good experiences with everyone. And so let's see what we have on the agenda today. So today we'll look at, or we'll go with a deep dive session on backups and restores. And first and foremost, we'll understand file attributes, and then we'll understand the rule of thumb for backup. Then we'll understand the types of backups which are prominently used in the enterprise. We'll understand the components of any backup job in any backup tool. Then we'll understand data restores, because just backing up is not important. We must also understand how to restore the data. And last but not the least, I'll answer the question which was posted in our last video of the Notepad file backup. So let's get started. So let's understand the attributes of a file on a FAT or an NTFS volume. So there are 4 attributes for a file on a FAT or an NTFS volume, namely read, system, hidden, and archive. So any say file which is present on FAT or NTFS volume will have these 4 attributes. So a file can be a read-only file, a system file, a hidden file, or an archive file, or a combination of these 4 attributes. So I have just taken some pictures over here. There's a file named logs.txt, and we can see the 2 attributes at the bottom over here, read and hidden. So the check boxes are unchecked, means the file, the attribute is not on, it's off. And we have the archive attribute over here. So any attribute will have only 2 positions, either it's on or it's off. So that's the reason it's also called as an archive bit. So these are the 4 attributes on a FAT or an NTFS volume. So these attributes are not present on Linux operating system. It's only say specific to Windows world. So let's understand the say rule of thumb for backup. Now, whenever we think of backups, we only have to focus on one attribute, and that is the archive attribute of files. Just one attribute, archive attribute. And based on this archive attribute, the thumb rule says whenever the archive attribute is on, the file is ready for backup, and whenever the archive attribute is off, the file has been backed up. So let's say any backup tool comes into backup, say bunch of files or a single file, it will not look at the contents of the file, it will look at the archive bit. If the archive bit is on, it will take the backup. If the archive bit is off, it will not back up that file, because it will assume that the file has been backed up. So again, I'll just repeat it. Whenever the archive attribute is on, the file is ready for backup, and whenever the archive attribute is off, the file has been backed up. So based on the thumb rule, we have some types of backups over here. So let's understand some types of backups. So there are many other types as well, but I'm just going to take up some prominently used backups in the enterprise. So there are 3 say prominently used backup types in the enterprise. namely normal or full backup, incremental backup, and we have differential backup. So these are the three prominently used types. So there are other types as well, copy backup, we have daily backup, but these are they are very rarely used. So these are the three types of backups which are regularly used. So let's understand each and every backup. So what is full backup? So as I told you, everything is revolving around the archive bit. So the entire source, so if you go for a full backup, the entire source is backed up irrespective of the archive bit, and the archive bit is turned off after the backup is over. That's the reason it's called as a full backup. So it will back up everything. It will not look at the archive bit. It will back up the entire source, whatever we have selected. It can be a C drive, a database, whatever. But after the backup is over, it will turn off the archive bit. Let's take an example over here. Let's say we have 5 files, and this is the status of the archive bit. The Word, Excel and the JPEG file has the archive bit on, the PowerPoint presentation and the PDF file has the archive bit as off. So if we take a full backup of these 5 files, all the 5 files will be backed up. So because the normal backup states that entire source will be backed up irrespective of the archive bit. So this will be our full backup, and after the backup is completed, the archive bit will be turned off. Means these files will be marked as the backup has been completed. So this is how our full backup works. So let's move on to incremental backup. So in incremental backup, only those files will be backed up on which the archive bit is on, and the archive bit is turned off after the backup is over. It's not like full backup. In full backup, it will not look at the archive bit before the backup. It will back up everything whatever we have selected. But over here, only those files will be backed up on which the archive bit is on, and the archive bit will be turned off after the backup is over. So let's take the same example over here. So we have 5 files with the status of archive bit, and let's say we took an incremental backup of these 5 files. So only Word, Excel and JPEG files will be backed up because the archive bit is on only on these 3 files. So this will be our incremental backup, and after the backup is completed, the archive bit will be turned off. So this is how our incremental backup works. So let's move on to the third type of backup, and that is differential backup. So again, only those files will be backed up on which archive bit is on, and the archive bit is not turned off after the backup is over. So in incremental backup, the archive bit will be turned off after the backup is over. But in differential backup, archive bit will not be turned off after the backup is over. It makes a huge difference while performing a restore. We'll look at the example at the end of the presentation today. So let's continue with the same example. We have 5 files with Word, Excel and JPEG, archive bit on, and we performed a differential backup on all these 5 files. So as the rule says, or the differential backup works, only those files will be backed up on which the archive bit is on. So Word, Excel and JPEG will be backed up. However, the archive bit will not be turned off after the backup is completed. So it will remain as it is, it won't be turned off. So archive bit will say differential backup will only look at the archive bit before the backup. After the backup it will just go away, okay, it will just ignore the archive attribute or archive bit. So hope you have understood all the three types of backups. Now let us understand components of any backup job. Let it be say any backup tool. Let's say Veritas Net Backup, Backup Exec, Legato Networker or Veeam Backup, any backup tool. So these are the prominent say components of any backup job. There might be more components, but these are the say most significant components. So there are four components of any backup job. Number one, what to backup. So in your backup job, the source is always present. It can be any drive, volume, folder, database, it can be anything. How to backup, the type, full, incremental or differential. When to backup, the schedule, every Monday at 11 p.m. or every day 10 p.m. It's again an example over here, when to backup. And where to backup, the destination can be on NAS, SAN, drive, shared drive, cloud, tape drive, etc. So these are the four components of any backup job. You will find these four components in any backup tool. So let's move on. Now let's understand data restores now. It's very important just to understand how the restore works. Now we'll take up some examples over here. Let's say we have two servers, file server 1 and file server 2. Now we are backing up file server 1 in this manner, that is Sunday full, and Monday to Saturday we are taking an incremental backup of file server 1, and for file server 2 we are taking a Sunday full, and Monday to Saturday we are going for differential backup. Now this is an hypothetical say example just to make you things understand. So file server 1 went down on Saturday and file server 2 as well went down on Saturday. So both the servers went down on Saturday. Now for file server 1 we have one full backup and we have 5 incremental backup sets. Same thing over here. For file server 2 we have one full backup and we have 5 differential backup sets. So the question is how to restore both the servers, man. Server 1's backup strategy is full plus incremental. Server 2 backup strategy is full plus differential. So how to restore both the servers? So let's see one by one. So let's say file server and the backup strategy is full plus incremental. So we have one full backup and we have 5 incremental backup sets. So full backup is the entire source is backed up irrespective of the archive bit, and archive bit is turned off after the backup is over. So let's say Monday evening the backup completed, and now there is no file on the file server on which the archive bit is on. So everything is off now, the archive bit has been turned off. So Monday morning people came in, so they created new files, they edited existing files, they might delete some files. So what happened was the archive bit turned on as soon as the new file got created or the existing files got edited and the files were saved. Then we took an incremental backup on Monday evening. So only those files got backed up on which the archive bit was on. And after the Monday incremental, the archive bit was again turned off by the incremental backup job. So again, after the Monday's incremental backup, the entire file server had, say, all the files which with archive bit off. So same thing happened on Tuesday. People came in the morning, we took an incremental backup. Same thing happened on Wednesday. There were some files which were created, some files which were edited. So we took again an incremental backup on Thursday and Friday. So by Friday evening, there was no file again on the server on which the incremental on the archive bit was on. So how to perform a restore of an full plus incremental backup strategy? So we need to restore the last full and the subsequent incremental backups. Last full, so Sunday full and subsequent incremental. So we have to restore Sunday full, then Monday incremental, then Tuesday incremental, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, then the server will be, say, up to date. So it's somewhat like this. Oh, that's okay. Big question, why? The reason is every backup set will have its own data, because every backup set will, say, turn off the archive bit after the backup is over, and that too in a subsequent manner. That's the reason we have to restore a backup strategy with full plus incremental, with full last full and subsequent incremental. So hope you have understood how to restore full plus incremental backups, and please leave me a comment if you want, say, me to create more content on just on, say, restores. Now let's move to file server 2. Again, this file server 2 is being backed up with full plus differential backup strategy now. So it's Sunday full, Monday to Friday differential. And as we know that, say, full backup, entire source is backed up irrespective of the archive bit, and archive bit will be turned off after the backup is over. And in differential backup, only those files will be backed up on which the archive bit is on, and the archive bit will not be turned off after the backup is over. So let's take the example over here, Monday full. So the entire archive bit was off. So people, on Sunday, archive bit was off after the backup. People came on Monday, they edited existing files, they created new files. So the new files and the edited files the archive bit got on, and on Monday evening, let's say we took a differential backup, but after we took a differential backup, it didn't turn off the archive bit. So the archive bit were on the changed files which were there on Monday. Same thing happened. People came to work on Tuesday morning. They changed the files. Okay, they edited some files, they created, they deleted some files. So after Tuesday's differential backup, there was nothing changed as far as the archive bit goes. The backup was successful, but archive bit was untouched. Same thing happened on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. The archive bit was not touched till Friday. So how to perform a restore of full plus differential backup strategy? So we have to restore last full and last differential. Why? Perfect question. Because this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the 4 backups are present in Friday's differential, because the archive bit is not getting turned off on Monday, after Monday's backup, Tuesday's backup, Wednesday's backup and Thursday's backup. So the Friday's backup will contain all the, say, 4 backups, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or 4 days changes, you can say. So Monday's changes, Tuesday's changes, Wednesday's changes and Thursday's changes will be the part of Friday's backup. So that's the reason we have to restore last full and last differential backup. So hope you have understood how to restore the full plus differential backup strategy. Again, if you have any questions, request you to please leave a comment. So let's come back to say the notepad file backup question. This is, you have to understand this concept, how the backup works. So again, we opened up notepad, added 4 lines to the file and saved the file as test.txt. We took a full backup of the file. Now see over here, after taking the full backup, the archive bit is turned off. Then we added 3 more lines, 5, 6, 7 to the file and saved it. So the archive bit of the file test.txt is on now, the archive bit turned on. Now we took an incremental backup of the file. So the question was, what will be backed up in the incremental backup? So the answer is entire file will be backed up. So many of the folks answered that 5, 6, 7 will be backed up. It's wrong. The reason is the backup tool focuses on the archive bit. The entire premises of backup revolves around the archive bit, and it will not look at what has been changed inside the file. There are thousands and thousands of types of file. Okay, backup tool will not go inside every file and just pull up what has been changed. The premises of taking a backup is the archive bit. Okay, so the entire file will be backed up. So again, there is a misconception that changes will be backed up in the incremental backup. It's a myth. It's absolutely wrong. The right answer is changed files will be backed up in incremental backups, because as soon as the file is changed, the archive bit will be turned on. So if anyone says that changes will be backed up in the incremental backup, absolutely wrong. Tell him that change files will be backed up in the incremental backup. Hope you have understood the concept behind, say, me asking this question in a separate video. So let's summarize what we have seen today. So we started our session, our topic of our session was backups and restores. So we understood file attributes, we understood rule of thumb for the backups, we understood types of backups, components of any backup job, and we perform a restore, and we answered the question. We understood how backup works, and now we know the answer for the question notepad file backup, which was there in our last video. So thanks for joining today's session. Hope you have learned something new, and enjoy your day.